a lot of you guys out there can easily come up with a sketch, a decent thumbnail, something that looks readable, something with a lot of potential for greatness, and that's awesome. But sadly, a lot of you guys face quite a few obstacles when you try to transform that thumbnail into a polished painting. And therein lies the frustration. Well, hello everyone, this is Earl Saniba, professional concept artist and illustrator currently working for Escalation Studios. And in this video, I'm going to break down my thought process as I go from a thumbnail to a polished state. So my process for this piece obviously began with a tiny thumbnail, along with about 5 or 6 others. And I eventually chose to spend more time on this one. So I increased the file size and I created a perspective grid to guide me along the way. And while keeping the perspective grid at a very low opacity, I began to imply form throughout the piece, and I spent the most of my time working on the giant because he is the main character of the story. As you can see, his home is being invaded by a medieval army. As I moved along, I further developed the musculature of the giant along with his facial features. He's not looking too happy, guys. Also, I was very mindful of the reflected light from above, which can be seen on his head, his arms, and his back. I also spent some time on the army. And keep in mind that I wasn't using a line drawing for a foundation. I was painting a series of shapes, moving from the biggest shapes to the smallest. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not really comfortable working like this. This is not my usual workflow. My success rate with this method is very low. I would much rather spend time coming up with a tight line drawing, but every now and then I like to challenge myself. At this stage, I spent a little more time on the giant working on his outfit, and I also added some atmospheric perspective, painting over carefully selected areas of the background with a very low opacity brush. Doing this causes the foreground to pop, and by now I'm pretty sure you've already figured out why the giant is being attacked. Because I was working so far out of my comfort zone, because I was trying so hard to paint without a foundational line drawing, I eventually reached a point where I was stuck and I didn't know what to do next. So I abandoned the piece for months. Then one day I was looking through my unfinished art folder and I looked at the piece one more time. I took one more look at it and all of a sudden I had an idea and I knew what to do. So I just literally went nuts and I completed the piece in a couple hours. So yeah, one of the main reasons why I abandoned the piece initially was because I didn't know how to go about bringing the painting to a finish without necessarily detailing every single aspect of the painting. But after looking at it for the first time in a couple months, I came up with a plan, and my plan was to choose 3 areas of the painting and make them points of emphasis. So I told myself that I would spend all the time that I wanted to on these focal points, and everything else would be secondary. And these focal points were the giant along with the 2 soldiers in the foreground. So I took my sweet time on those focal points, and then everything else was basically second to none. And after I reached the point where I was comfortable with how they looked, I added some more atmospheric perspective, and I believe that this is what helped prevent me from spending too much time on the areas beyond the focal point. I even went as far as adding some motion blur behind the 2 soldiers, as well as behind the giant's legs, in order to create a greater sense of panic and unease. And I finalized the painting by adding some dust and debris to help really make the atmosphere look thick and breathable. And there you go, guys, a quick breakdown from thumbnail to finish. And this is quite different from my usual time-lapse videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know if you like this type of content, and I'll definitely make some more. If you want some more videos, be sure to subscribe and please stay tuned because I have a lot more content coming your way. Alright, that's it guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.